Hello and welcome to episode 36 of the How to Survive podcast. It's the second week of our post-apocalyptic duo of films. Last week was Mad Max Fury Road, which I think everyone would admit is a sort of comic book, colourful send-up of the post-apocalyptic scenario.
Yeah.
And The Survivalist is exactly the same. No, of course we are covering The Survivalist this week, the Stephen Fingleton 2015 film about a man who lives alone in the woods in a bleak post-apocalyptic environment. We're going to be talking about the whole film, as ever. So if you haven't seen The Survivalist, then go and watch it now, lest ye be spoiled. And I'm joined, as ever, this week by Joe Sheville.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me. This should be, really, the epitome of a film we should talk about. It's called The Survivalist.
I know, yeah.
In fact, the only person who we could rightfully call a survivalist who we've covered was in You're Next.
Yes.
She was raised by a group of survivalists.
Yes.
But we'll come to it. We'll come to it.
Yeah.
Whether or not that he is the best survivalist.
Well, he is cool. He is only credited as Survivalist.
Yeah.
So he has no name. But the film opens on an abstract graph which depicts the rise of oil production in tandem with population growth in the world. When oil production tails off, the world's population reaches critical mass before plummeting. Mm-hmm. And that's as much context for the post-apocalyptic scenario as we're given, which is a very interesting way, I thought, of showing that. You know, rather than the usual newsreel footage and all that sort of thing. So we open on a man who is credited only as survivalist, who lives alone on a small farm in this post-apocalyptic environment. And the film opens on him burying a body, presumably that of an interloper, as compost for his crops. At night, we see via flashback that he is haunted by the memory of himself and another man running through the woods. One day, a mother and daughter stumble upon his farm. He agrees to share his farm and his crops in exchange for sex with the daughter, Melia. The three of them continue to live on the farm together and an uneasy bond develops. At various points, the mother, Catherine, and Melia appear to have designs on killing the man and vice versa. One day, the man notices a foreign footprint on his property. Realising a stranger has stumbled upon their camp, they run to find Melia, who was bathing in a nearby river. She is taken hostage by the man, who is credited as Snatcher. Snatcher shoots the survivalist, but Survivalist manages to stab and kill Snatcher. This does make it sound like a comic book, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Returning to the hut, the women nurse him back to health, ostensibly as thanks for saving the daughter. Melia and the man grow closer and more intimate. One night, a group ransacks the farm, stealing all the crops and leaving the trio without food. Melia realises she is pregnant and considers aborting the baby, but is unable or unwilling to do so. Realising they will soon starve, Catherine suggests killing the man to ensure her and her daughter's survival. Melia offers to poison him with mushrooms, but instead poisons her mother. Catherine allows the man to kill her without a struggle. Sometime later, a large group of bandits raid the farm, and the man and Melia try to escape with their crop seed, which is as close as there is to currency in this new world, but realise they are overwhelmed. So the man insists Melia runs, but not before revealing that he once killed his brother, Augustus, to ensure his own survival, revealing the meaning behind the earlier flashback, or the flashback that intercuts throughout the film. Melia escapes, and the man is eventually wounded and killed by the group, who appear to be preparing his body to be cooked and eaten. Melia manages to find a large, heavily fortified compound. She informs them that she is pregnant, and they take her possessions while deciding whether or not to allow her to stay. She tells the woman guarding the fence that if her baby is a boy, she knows what she'll call him.
The Survivalist.
The Survivalist, exactly. You stole the punchline there. So that is how the film...
For clarity, she wasn't going to call it Survivalist. She was going to name it Augustus after the man's brother.
Yes, we assume. Probably not Catherine, anyway. Or Snatcher. Snatcher, Catherine, Survivalist. So yeah, Joe, what did you think of Stephen Fingleton's The Survivalist? As you said, it's a film that is as close to a pure survival film as we've covered.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think piss as fertiliser.
Piss as fertiliser. Okay. That's the headline note that you made.
I may be getting ahead of myself.
Okay.
I think it's a brilliant film. A fantastic portrayal of a bleak life.
Yeah, and just to clarify, do you want to clarify piss as fertiliser?
Well, okay, sure. I'll come to this later. Okay. We'll come to it now. Why not?
Yeah.
So when the survivalist is tending his crops, obviously he uses a dead body as fertilizer at one point.
Mm-hmm.
But he also uses his own urine to sort of fertilize some germinating seeds, as well as semen. It would seem, as he is shown masturbating in like an over-the-shoulder shot with it showing him actually masturbating with his penis in shot.
His real penis.
Yeah.
Now, what you might not realise about that, Joe, is the credits, because he's masturbating over a photo of a girl.
Yeah.
The role of girl in photograph is actually a credited role in The Survivalist, which only the Survivalist only has what, 5 named characters.
We've named them. So the Survivalist, Snatcher,
Mia, Catherine,
Yeah.
girl in photograph, Augustus,
Lookout.
Yeah, lookout girl at the end. So she's presumably the 7th of 7 credited roles, and it's played by the wonderful Kiri Kennedy,
right? Yeah.
Who you may know. I know back home you're going, Kiri. What do I remember her from? You might remember her from Holby City as Holly Frayne in the 2008 episode Spring Flower.
No, I thought that was the one. Yeah.
You might remember her from You Get Me, the TV series, in which she played Kit for all 50 episodes. You might remember her from her role in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, where she played girl in photo. Oh no, wait, she played she played child at zoo.
So
listen, I don't want to. Yeah. It's ungenerous to.
So the woman in the photo, which the survivalist looks at when he's masturbating in order to produce semen to fertilize his crops, is played by...
Is that why he's doing it, or is he just
clearing
the pipes?
He's standing over... He's standing at the table which is covered in soil.
Is it not that he has been fertilizing them with urine, and then it's like, well, now
it's out.
Yeah, since it's there.
I don't know. Well, to be honest with you, I did look into whether piss can be used as fertilizer.
Okay.
And it can.
Yeah.
Apparently, a test with a control of just mineral water and using urine as fertilizer yielded 10% larger beets. So actually, it's not only good, it's actually beneficial.
Okay.
As far as semen as fertilizer, the only article I could find was written on a forum on a weed cultivation blog,
right?
And someone basically wrote, "Can I use semen to fertilize my marijuana plant?"
Yeah.
And someone said, "Are you high?"
Someone said, "Are you a maniac?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one, and then someone else wrote it on Yahoo Answers actually, but no one would really take the question seriously.
Okay.
So that remains.
Is not. We cannot officially endorse that.
No. But that said.
Yeah.
I don't see why it wouldn't work because it's high nutrients.
But I think
is it nutritional?
It's probably protein.
Yeah, but can you
salts? I don't know. Sugars? Who knows? But anyway, Kiri Kennedy. Just in case you're thinking of looking up her oeuvre.
That's it. Right.
Yeah, she. But just full disclosure, she is also frequently credited as Kiri Noddings.
Right.
So she's very much the star of The Survivalist, but let's talk about some of the supporting cast.
Sure.
The film opens with nearly 20 minutes without any speech.
Yes.
And it's obviously quite an interesting... It's a stark choice, maybe emphasising his isolation in the world. And it's very Terrence Malick-esque in its cinematography and direction. I don't know if you've seen a Terrence Malick film.
Give me an example.
So my go-to Terrence Malick film is the Tree of Life.
Yep.
Or there's the Thin Red Line. A lot of them are, especially the Thin Red Line, which is obviously a war film, but it frequently sort of drifts. The attention of the camera frequently sort of drifts to little details like an insect on a plant or things like that.
Sure.
And it's got a sort of weird detached view on the world.
Well, the Tree of Life as well, absolutely mental.
I really like the Tree of Life.
Yeah.
Like artistically, I think it's a brilliant film.
I sat down for watching it thinking it's a very different film.
Yeah.
To what it is, yeah.
In terms of the cinematography and direction, I think that's like a clear comparison. And it's like an incredibly bleak world.
Yeah, of course.
With its composting corpses and transactional sex.
True.
But it's presented in this very like beautiful, serene manner.
You mentioned cinematography, etc. One thing I noticed was that in almost every scene, the characters are moving from right to left.
Okay.
Which is, traditionally the sign of bad things to come.
Yeah.
Or the villain will move from right to left. So it's quite unsettling. When you subconsciously recognise that, probably. And also when the house sits to the right of our cinema consciousness. So whenever they're moving away, they're moving right to left. And when they return to the house, it's left to right. So
okay.
Just thought that was interesting.
The lack of speech in the film, I felt it sort of, because obviously it's a very bleak environment anyway, it meant the film had a sort of like nihilistic viewpoint. Like when their crops are all stolen by the group of raiders in the night, they don't. It's almost like they don't discuss it.
Yeah.
There's like no discussion of it at all, and it's almost like they have like a shared understanding of how bad the situation they're in is now. Like they're screwed, and they all know it, and it's like it doesn't like it's so bleak, and everyone in this, all the characters know that they're in big trouble,
peril.
Yeah, and it's like it doesn't need to be said.
Yeah,
because they all know that they're thinking the worst anyway.
I mean, it wouldn't have helped the story if the survivalist had turned around and gone, guys,
we're in trouble now.
This is really going to surprise you.
Yeah. But, and Mia reads the Crucible.
Yes.
At one point, which, given its themes of man's inhumanity to man, is very apt. I like the touch of crop seeds being like their new currency, like the new valuable thing that they have.
Yeah, because there's a famine on, right? It's a I remember in the synopsis they describe it as like a time of starvation.
Right.
So people, presumably the population drop has been down to a lack of food rather than anything else. Yeah,
it's almost like they've returned to a sort of Stone Age, well not Stone Age, but like a pre-technology existence, isn't it?
Yeah, right.
And because the world and the situation is like one where there's like no trust whatsoever.
No, exactly.
The film has this sort of like quite constant level of tension. Like the scenes, particularly in the first third of the film, where he's allowed the mother and daughter to live on his farm.
Yeah.
But their truce is an uneasy one.
Yeah. They live there at gunpoint.
Yeah. Well, but there are scenes where they're gardening, and you watch the film like looking at how each character is like holding their gardening tool and thinking, is this going to be the moment where they're going to
fall out?
Yeah.
And you're a big fan of dinner scenes, and I think the dinner scenes in this film kind of like take the temperature of the mood, because the first one, obviously he eats alone at the beginning, but then when the two ladies arrive, they eat like staring down the barrel of his shotgun.
Yeah.
And then later he's eating with them.
Yeah.
And then they become more and more trusting of each other. And it's a way to check in on everyone's mood, I think.
Yeah. And obviously the sex element of the film, would you say is like initially it's obviously like a bargaining thing?
Yeah. But they obviously do fall in love.
Yeah.
Because
it's not clear cut, is it?
No.
Like, because even quite a way into the film, there is the suggestion that
she's just manipulating.
Yeah. So I thought it was quite. In fact, even at the end of the film, there's no real definitive proclamation of love between them or anything like that.
No, exactly.
It's very cold.
I mean, it's called The Survivalist. It's kind of like they just want to. Like everyone knows the best thing to do at that time for their survival. If you know what I mean. because she kills her mother, like willingly, because
Yeah.
she realizes that she's got a better chance of surviving with the young and physically able man.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff in the film that's unsaid, isn't
Mm.
it? There's a point at which the mother is discussing only two of them, carrying on,
Yeah.
like getting rid of the man. Mia says to her, "You're old."
Yeah.
And she doesn't say you're old and you're going to die one day,
No,
and then I'm going
exactly.
to be on my. It's just that.
She says you're getting sentimental, to which she replies, "You're getting older." Yeah.
And it's a lot of the film is that sort of very stilted.
Yeah.
Like everyone in the
Matter of
scene
fact, yeah.
knows.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good. It brings you along nicely though.
Mm.
You're not working anything.
You're not
out.
lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned the sex as currency.
Mm.
The way I read it first of all was that he was just trying to separate them so he could. But do you think as soon as she gets there, he's like, "I'm going to have sex with you right now"?
I think the fact that there's the early scene that we mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
the masturbation scene,
Yeah.
it sets up his sexual appetite having no outlet.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So as soon as a woman shows up,
I mean, it's really difficult to talk about because obviously we've talked about like films where sexual violence and things
Yeah.
have been really troubling, and this is essentially, at least at the start, is essentially rape, or
that's where it's got difficult, is because she's doing it knowing that there's a transaction. She's not basically like there is an outcome to it in that she'll be given food.
Yeah,
but he's
there's an element of coercion, isn't there?
Exactly, yeah.
Even if it's initially offered to him.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's difficult because the whole film is unpleasant.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the whole film,
and also it's not a realistic portrayal. It's like in that situation, I don't know. There's nothing else to bargain with. If you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's tough.
It's like there's no respite at any point in the film either.
Yeah.
There's no scene where they're all getting along,
playing a board game.
Yeah, or enjoying a meal together or enjoying one another's company. It's all just constant
paranoia.
Yeah, and it's a very hard, brittle film.
Yeah, it's not lovey-dovey.
No. But the ending is like this mixture of like being really bleak and also quite hopeful. Because like, do you think? I presume they're going to let Melia in?
Yeah. Well, the woman says to her, they're just having a vote. It doesn't usually take long.
Yeah.
But suggests that. I don't know. It looks fairly inclusive. There's a woman in there who's completely bald with one arm, carrying a baby, who doesn't look like she'd be breaking rocks all day. And so it suggests that they are quite an inclusive environment.
Yeah, it's not like a work camp or something like that. It's not Immortan Joe's Citadel.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is sort of like, I don't know, the way the whole film goes, you don't feel like this is a solution, like this isn't going to last. Is more the feeling that I took from it. Like even if she gets into this compound, it's not the solution to the problems overall.
It's like Walking Dead. Whenever they get to a new camp or a new enclosure, it's only a few minutes before the zombies will be there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's that ticking clock constantly,
yeah, exactly.
And that is implied at the end of the film as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the issues of trust in this world are sort of writ large in the first time that Survivalist meets Catherine and Mia.
Mm-hmm.
And there's that sort of tense encounter between them.
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it?
Yeah, like can you trust anyone?
No,
because even the alliance that they form is
shaky.
Yeah.
But it literally is the only reason he does survive is because he's more useful than an old lady.
Yeah.
In that situation.
Yeah, exactly. Which is a very calculating. Like, imagine killing your mother because you know that she's going to be less able to till the land.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a very, very bleak, unsentimental film, isn't it? Yeah, and like as I said, this sort of sets up every scene following it, which has this uneasy tension about whether or not they're going to kill one another.
Yeah.
And it is like, they're very...
Yeah, every scene could be... Yeah,
it could just explode into violence.
Yeah.
Or something.
When he gets shot.
Yeah, so Mia gets taken by Snatcher.
Yeah.
one of cinema's great villains.
Yeah.
And he gets shot and then stabs him, but manages to stab him in the neck.
Yeah.
There's that amazing shot where it's like the camera cranes up above Survivalist,
Yeah.
and like
It's
pans over the grass to where the man is like lying
on top of him to hide it. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like a great sort of drift. It's a great example of the weird sort of cinematography. And then they choose to, there's discussion after he's shot as to whether or not they're just going to let him die, because his wound becomes infected, and he puts maggots in it.
Does he put the maggots in there?
He puts the maggots because he gets them off the body.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's a very bleak film.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of discussion as to whether or not they're going to.
Why would you put maggots in there?
Well, maggots clean wounds. It's a genuine.
Really?
Yeah.
That is interesting. And I'll be sure to employ that method.
Yeah.
Next time I get an infected wound.
Yeah, exactly. And then obviously the climax dramatically of the film is when the large group of raiders attack the farm.
Yeah.
Which is a very well done scene, I thought.
Before that, they were eating mushrooms. Were those psychedelics?
The raiders, or
no, the survivalist and his.
I presume we don't have any crops. What can we get?
It's just I don't know, because they left the door open, which seems like an unusual thing for them to do. Like when you're trying to.
But they can't lock it, can they? They don't have keys.
No, I suppose.
But it's just it's just luck, isn't it? Basically, whether or not you can keep hidden in the world.
Yeah.
Like it does portray like a very cut off world, doesn't it?
Definitely.
Like it's strange, but like why do you think that he didn't run with her? Is it just to slow them down?
Well, he's confronted by the ghostly image of his brother.
Yeah, that's
who's
right.
Pointing a gun at him. Which I thought the brother was going to show up as one of the raiders.
Yes, that's what I thought as well.
Yeah,
but he's a vision.
Yeah, so obviously he thinks. I imagine there's some leap of I killed my brother in order to survive, and therefore I'm like he was holding me back, and now I realise I'm holding her back, so I'll sacrifice myself.
I see.
In order so she can survive.
I think that's an area where the film's sort of hands-off character development maybe makes that element suffer a bit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because it's a bit of a leap.
Yeah.
For a man who was willing to kill his brother minutes ago, in order to make himself survive, to just be like, maybe I'll just die.
Yeah, because also you don't see do we even know whether or not he knows that Melia's pregnant?
Yeah, because she puts his hand on her stomach,
right,
and there's a moment of realization.
Okay,
and he's like,
so he is. You know, there is a.
He knows that she's pregnant, and he knows that's
right,
or his daughter.
Yeah, Augustina.
Yeah, Augusta, I think is the.
All right, mate.
Sorry, just up on my Roman history.
Yeah.
On you, apparently.
So yeah, The Survivalist. It's a survival film.
Yes.
But did you have any theories or thoughts as to a better way for him to survive?
Yes, I did. So as we've mentioned, he uses his urine as fertilizer. There's some debate about whether or not he uses semen as fertilizer.
Yeah.
But another thing we see in the film that isn't used as fertilizer but can be menstrual blood.
Right.
Yeah. So you're raising your eyebrows there, Chris, but did you know it's actually packed with nutrients? Obviously, iron in the blood and all this stuff.
See, what I thought you were going to say was feces.
Yeah, that too.
Because they're all producing that.
Yeah. Although anyone who's read The Martian, the book, will remember that you should only eat food that's been made using your own feces, so as to avoid sort of eating bacteria from
other people's
digestive systems, which isn't a good idea.
No.
So be careful. But I mean, menstrual blood, why not? You're producing that freely. We don't know if the mother is pre or post menopause,
right?
But if you've got at least one source of fertilizer, why not use it? If you've got it,
why not use it?
Exactly. Rather than just wash it away. I don't know how you'd. I mean,
God, this is a bleak film. Isn't it?
Translating that from because she's wearing a makeshift sanitary towel,
right?
Just a rag. How would you get it out of that? Because it's going to stain in there, isn't it? it's not like she's wearing a cup that catches it in a convenient pouch that you can then just pour into the soil.
Does it pour?
I don't know. That's the point. I've never been in a situation.
I think we're out of our depth here. Should we?
Yeah.
Move on.
Right. So we don't know enough about menstrual blood. That's we've established that.
Mm.
But it could be used as fertilizer.
Sure.
If there was a facility for it, I'm just saying. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Hashtag just saying. I've got a couple more. One's kind of neither here nor there. The best bait apparently to use for rabbits is apples.
Okay.
So if you were able
rather
to find,
than because we see berries being used on the trap.
We don't know if there's an orchard nearby that he's just not acknowledged or
not eating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you were able to get apples, you'd be more easily able to catch rabbits.
Okay.
It's a bit of a throwaway one because neither here nor there. One, this is a question of morals, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
If you had recently come into possession of about, I don't know, 100 kilograms of fresh meat, would you bury it? Or would you eat it?
This is whether or not they cannibalise the mother.
Yes.
When she's dead.
Yes.
Or the snatcher.
Or the body we see him burying at the beginning.
So clearly, I would suggest that even though it's not explicitly said one way or the other, I would imagine that this is like an invisible line in the sand that Survivalist is not
willing to cross,
nor Catherine or Amelia. And the fact that we see the group at the end appearing to prepare to eat Survivalist, would suggest that like that's the film's way of making them the bad guys,
right? Yeah, but that's only based on the morals of now.
Yeah.
Like if it was post-apocalyptic and the only way you're going to survive is by eating.
It is interesting that they don't, because they don't appear to have any religion or any sort of.
In fact, he burns the Bible in the opening scene.
Yeah, he doesn't appear to have any reason not to. So why do you think it is?
Squeamish.
But again, that's only by modern cultural standards.
Yeah.
Is there any biological reason not to eat human meat?
I don't know of one. I think it's more a case of like it's just not a good idea to kill and eat people. I mean, from a genetic perspective, like from an evolutionary perspective, if you were like, I think there's a kind of mutual understanding between humans that you don't kill each other unless you can. Mm-hmm. So like if I was to punch you in the face, there's every possibility that you could punch me in the face harder or stab me.
Right.
So we are at a kind of
impasse.
Yeah, it's mutually assured destruction in a sense. And I think that crosses over that you don't kill and eat people because there's a good chance that someone could kill and eat you.
But again, this doesn't apply because I understand it could, but there's two things here, because
that requires a civilized society.
Yeah, which doesn't exist. The people in question aren't going to attack him in return because they're dead. And even if if this is the case and it's a genetically wired thing, then you can't change that, because according to our podcast rules, you can't change
character motivations.
Yeah, exactly, and that would class as a character motivation.
But people have eaten other people to survive.
Yeah, well, the people in the film do that.
Yeah,
so it can't be a genetic thing.
No.
So in that case, he should abandon the. But is that the only thing that separates him from, the cannibals? Yes, is the answer.
yeah, basically. But
yeah,
I mean, it's always a big taboo, isn't it? Cannibalism, quite rightly so. I mean, you shouldn't eat people.
Yeah.
But in that situation, is it forgivable?
Well, it doesn't. There's no one
to cast forgiveness.
Yeah,
exactly. I think it's
other than yourself.
Yeah, but I could.
I don't think Melia would want to eat
her mother.
Yeah.
Plus, she's been poisoned, so you'd be eating the poison.
Exactly. That's a good reason to not do it.
That's a good point. Well done, me, for working out why they didn't eat the old lady.
Well, what I would suggest is a good survival tactic is to have a good idea of your surroundings.
Yeah.
So I would suggest that it would have been beneficial for Survivalist to know about the large militarised compound, presumably only a few hours or days walk from where his farm is.
Right, yeah.
Because he is presumably of an age and aptitude that would be welcomed with open arms
Yeah.
by their community, assuming it's not the community that he robs.
Yeah,
in the flashback.
who've got him like a wanted poster of him or something.
Yeah, but like I can only assume that he doesn't know his surroundings well enough, because if he turned up at the gate, he would, he'd be able to demonstrate that he's strong, a good hunter, good at agriculture, which are the things that he's gonna need to do to prove his worth to the community. And equally, if they're looking to safeguard the future of humanity, as they presumably are, by trying to maintain a relatively organised culture or community, they could have used, as in Survivalist, could have used Amelia's pregnancy as a bargaining chip in the event that he wasn't the sort of person they wanted.
Yeah, exactly.
So he can say, look, like, we're not, it's either both of us or neither of us.
Right, yeah. So he put a gun to her head and then...
Possibly, but, but maybe not to that extent, but just, we're a couple who are demonstrably deeply in love.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We've been killed to that effect.
Yeah. So please let us in.
Okay.
Because I can do some farming.
Yeah. Well, good.
So I can only assume that the reason that he doesn't, these events don't happen, is because he doesn't know that the compound is there. In which case, if he had had a better read on his surroundings, he would have known this, and these events could have happened.
Fair enough. Maybe he did know it was there. He was just not trusting.
Maybe. So could another How to Survive suggestion be more trusting of people?
Yeah. It could be, yeah. That's a good point. I did have one note, which was lock your doors, obviously when they go out. But we don't know how possible that is. Like you said, there's no keys.
Yeah.
Set up booby traps, maybe?
Okay. Well, he's got tripwires and things to alert.
Man traps, bear traps. Yeah. True point.
Because one of the raiders gets bear trapped.
All right, my final point. And this is coming back to the evolutionary perspective.
Okay.
To survive in nature is to pass on your genes, right? Which he does.
Right.
And then immediately, as soon as he realises that the next day, he's like, well, that's me done, I can die now.
Okay, so you're saying that in a way he lives on.
Exactly, yeah. Well, that's the point of
genetically he has survived.
The point of us being alive in the first place is to pass on our genetic information. Yeah, so guess I'm pregnant. Yeah. In effect, he should probably have tried it on with the mother as well in order to get more people pregnant.
Yeah.
So as soon as he's done that, as soon as he's made as many people pregnant as he possibly can, he can then die.
Does this breach our rule 5 that you must try to survive? Because the definition of survival that we've always adhered to is a corporeal one,
right? Yeah,
rather than a spiritual or genetic one.
Yeah. This entity survives, not your son survives. Yeah.
In which case, should he have cut Mia's leg open and run for it?
Maybe
imagine how bleak it would be if the film was he saw the ghost of his brother standing before him, and rather than going, I must make amends, he went, there's an idea.
Yeah. Slashed her leg.
Yeah.
And then legged it.
Yeah.
Or left her for like the others.
Yeah.
Oh man.
How have we managed to think of something more bleak to add to this film?
I know. Awful.
Oh,
it's a really bleak film, but it's a really worthwhile one, I think.
Yeah, it's a very strange, sort of cold, like weirdly beautiful film.
Yeah,
in its own horrible.
I think beauty is an interesting idea because both the mother and daughter are like, they have this kind of weird look about them.
Yeah,
like the mum's got like a Meryl Streep kind of look. Like she's old, obviously, but she's not. She's quite attractive.
Right.
In fact, I think she might be the most attractive woman I've ever seen. The daughter, she looks really young, and she's not wearing makeup, obviously, because it's post-apocalyptic. But then there is a certain beauty to her as well. Yeah. Do you disagree?
I don't right. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from.
I thought maybe it was a casting decision because
they're the
only women he's seen in so long, so they're going to be somewhat attractive.
I understand where you're coming from, but I can't think of the word.
Yeah, exactly. And we haven't even mentioned the worst scene in the film. Is that by design?
By which you mean
the scene in which Mia attempts to perform a abortion on herself using a coat hanger,
which is intercut with a rabbit
jumping around,
like near a trap.
Yeah.
Well, what were your thoughts? Because it's a horrible scene.
Yeah, it's not meant to be like.
It's maybe like the emotional, like the only emotional scene, like overtly emotional scene in the film, because Mia cries.
Yeah.
Either in pain or distress or both.
Yeah, it's unpleasant.
Yeah, it's hard to watch.
You hear like urban legends about that sort of thing happening, which obviously has happened. It's not a new idea, but it's the first time I've seen it in a film
and depicted in that way.
Yeah. On that note, tune in next week.
Oh no, we can't end it on that.
Looking for other notes.
The harmonica. What did you think of the harmonica?
Yeah, the harmonica was good.
Yeah.
But what I like about harmonicas is that you don't have to know how to play it.
No.
Because it's all in tune, isn't it?
Yeah, some of them are, yeah. It sort of gives it a Western type feel.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a Sergio Leone sort of thing, which I think is a reference that the director, Stephen Fingerton, he describes Sergio Leone as films as pure cinema. Right. So it's obvious. It's like I think it's an overt reference.
Acknowledgement.
Yeah.
Because that's the only diegetic music.
Yeah. Well, it's like a.
Of course.
It's almost like a passing of the torch as well, because the last person we see playing it is Mia.
Yeah. Exactly.
But it's The Survivalist, a tough film.
Yeah.
A tough film to survive, as it bears out.
Yes.
And but a good one, and one that's worth watching. I think we're in agreement.
Why? Here's a question. One final question.
Mm-hmm.
Say the raiding party.
Yeah.
What's their allegiance to each other? Obviously, we don't know. But had they gone, hey guys, we know you're raiding our stuff, but can we join your raiding party? Because there's like 6 or 7
they're cannibals, though.
Yeah, but so what?
Well, it implies that.
Okay, so but is it out of the question to join any raiding party?
What you mean? What's the application process?
Yeah, so they've come and raided your camp. They're going to kill you.
Yeah.
So why don't you just go, look, I'd rather join your ranks than be killed by you.
Maybe that's the thing, is that he's so against cannibalism, because we don't see him doing it in the film. We see him avoiding it.
Yeah.
That he would refuse to do such a thing.
But he doesn't necessarily know they're cannibals, does he? Unless it's like they're the cannibal gang and they've got a reputation for it.
Yeah.
Among the rabbits and trees that he talks to all day.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. The only thing I suggest is that they don't allow you to suggest joining.
No.
Because everyone that they meet is a meal to them and nothing else.
That's a big point, yeah. When you're that hungry, you don't. I mean, you don't chat with the.
If you're hungry enough to resort to cannibalism, you're probably not going to have a open application process for joining your gang.
But if you were out shooting deer, you wouldn't chat with the deer before you did so, would you?
No.
So there you go.
Yeah, the Survivalist. Yeah. So if you had any thoughts on the Survivalist, if you
want to correct us on anything we got wrong,
if you've got any general, if you grew up on a survivalist compound, or if you've been in a post-apocalyptic scenario, if you've lived in the woods, then please get in touch. The email address, as ever, is howtosurviveshow@gmail.com. And you can also talk to us on Twitter, the Twitter account, which now has so many followers. It's unbearable.
It'll make your head spin. It will.
The Twitter handle is @HowToSurvivePod.
That's right. And of course, as ever, we would love it if you'd leave us a review telling everyone, including us, how much you loved it. That's 5 stars on iTunes or the podcast app on your iPhone, or whatever platform you use it. Acasts or Pocket Casts or Overcast, I think is one.
Okay.
Lots of casts and pods.
Lots of different flavours.
Yes, but 5 stars is the universal language of love.
And next week we'll be covering the James Cameron classic Aliens.
Yeah.
The sequel to Alien, which we covered in our 3rd episode that time ago. And then the week after that, Joe, the episode will be releasing on May the 4th. So who knows what film we could be covering? It is a mystery, but we'll see you then.
Yeah, and if you've got any thoughts on how you'd survive in it, I mean, you do the maths.
Yeah.
And you can work it out. May the 4th
be with you.
It's the return to the Poseidon.
It's Titanic 2. Thanks very much for joining us once again, and we will see you next week.
Thank you.
So there's no quote, there's no lines to end with.
It's honestly like a cardinal sin to go to cinema and make noise, because it should be a sanctuary.
So we were watching The Witch.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what happened?
You're recording this for posterity.
Yeah.
Well, we had the boo, makes you feel alive, doesn't it? You had that guy.
Yeah. If you're not from the UK, basically there's a current advert in a chain of cinemas where just before the film begins, Mark Strong, the actor, his voice appears and goes, "Hello,"
and he says, "Makes you feel alive, doesn't it? Because the cinema is basically transportative. It turns off the turn off your phones.
Yeah." It's not just sound, it's
it's
the
the
light.
glaring light. Yeah. So no sudden light, no sudden sounds, ringtones.
No sudden movements.
Yeah. And don't talk because you're in a cinema and people around you are trying to watch a film.
Yeah.
So we start watching The Witch. We're 5-10 minutes in, and this couple, they must have been...
They're adults.
They're adults, but they're basically children. So it's the scene where the baby is being cut up and turned into a paste.
Yeah.
Which is a little after that.
Yeah.
And like they're just talking at full volume, and he has such a deep voice. It was like basically like Ralph Ineson, right? was in the room with us.
Yeah.
So deep and so distracting. So I went over across the cinema,
Yeah.
and I said, "Guys, stop talking because it's really loud and really distracting."
Yeah.
And they acted like they were embarrassed. Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
yeah. Sorry. So for 10 minutes or so, we had absolute silence, which was great. There was only about 10 people in the cinema.
Mm-hmm.
Then they started talking again, whispering, giggling. I'm like, you're not paying attention to this. Anyway, I'm losing my mind. So we get to about 20 minutes before the end, and I went over and I said, "Why are you here? Why don't you just leave?" And they said, "We're trying to watch the film." I said, "You're not trying to watch the film. You're just talking. Why didn't you just leave and get your money back? If you don't like it, go see something else. Now get out of my way. No, you're not trying to watch the film. You're just trying to talk. If you wanted a conversation, why don't you go to a bar? Someone's trying to watch the film. And watch the film about the baby getting cut up into a paste."
I want to hear the sound effects in all of their finite detail.
Oh my God, it just does my absolute head in.
Yeah. So, How to Survive, if you're in a cinema with Joe, shut up.
Yeah. Well, although, as a send-up, after the confrontation, my heart was absolutely racing. So I think that added to the tension of the film. Yeah. So my heart was... So how to enjoy cinema better, like start a fight with anyone, and you'll be more immersed in the film, I think.